Hello, welcome. On behalf of Peter and Cassidy, I would like to thank you all for being here, for taking the time, making the journey, and dedicating yourselves to the support of this very deserving couple. For those of you who are in this space today, thank you. We know that each of you has taken a risk to be here, and none of us take that risk lightly. For those of you attending remotely, thank you. Your absence is mourned, but your respect for our health and safety is greatly appreciated. In 2020, we have learned that distance and caution are important ways of showing love and care. Our bonds of love and support for this couple in close proximity or at a distance will remain strong through this challenge. 2020 has been a year of surprises, to say the least. Yeah. Spoiler alert, to avoid more surprises, I hope you are comfortable with crying, because every time I've read through this script, I have had to pause for tears. Don't worry, we're going to make it through this together. This is not exactly how Peter and Cassidy originally imagined their wedding. But the most important pieces are still here. Bride, groom, dear friends, and family members gathered under this old sheltering tree. The lovely gnarled century-old tree above our heads is like the marriage that Peter and Cassidy want to build together. Its branches have been shaped by its circumstances to create a complex, strong, and beautiful shape that is completely unique. Most of you have known these two for many years. You have watched them grow up, gone to school with them, or gotten to know them in their new home, Minneapolis. I am fortunate enough to have known them through education at Lawrence University, exploring and attending theater in London, and living with them in the Seward neighborhood of Minneapolis. Our relationship has grown and gotten closer even as the distance has gotten bigger. All of you are here because your love and support have impacted Cassidy and Peter and helped their relationship grow into the complex and unique shape it takes today. Today, after 10 years of pursuits, challenges, victories, and transitions, we are here to witness the moment that they join their lives in the union of marriage. Today, we are grateful to have Peter's grandmother, Mary Boyle, in attendance. And we want to take a moment to acknowledge Cassidy's grandmother, Phyllis Wilson, who couldn't join us in person, but who we know is thinking of us today and sending all her love from Wisconsin. As we all know, Cassidy's father, Brian Wilson, is also very missed today. He wanted to be here, but we're glad that he's getting the medical care he needs so we can enjoy his company again soon. We also wanted to take a moment to honor these loved ones who are no longer with us. Peter's grandparents, Dennis Boyle and Stanley and Francis Wishnowalski, shared so much love with him in his youth and continually reappear in the facets of his personality. Cassidy's grandparents, Harry Wilson and Guy and Carol Kiefer, loved her dearly. She misses them every day, but especially today. Please share a moment of silence with us to think of these loved ones so we may carry them with us through the rest of our ceremony. Whenever we attend a wedding, we are given the opportunity to reflect on our own relationships. The truth is that every relationship is as unique as the individuals in it. And for love to exist between two people, each person must allow the vulnerability of giving their love to the other. And each must be open to receiving the other's love in turn. Therefore, each of us is a powerful creator of love. Each of us, every moment of every day, has the choice to dedicate ourselves to one another or to withhold our love and caring. As I've gotten to know Peter and Cassidy over the past decade, individually and separately, I've seen them actively make this choice time and time again. When it was easy, when it was difficult, in joy and despair. From my perspective, they are paragons of vulnerability, support, communication, and patience. If you ask couples who have a strong and abiding love what they like most about their partners, many will say when they are with that person, they don't have to pretend to be anything other than what they are. They are able to express themselves without fear or being judged or rejected. There is room in the relationship for both of them to be unique individuals. They are free to surrender to the vulnerability of true intimacy, to be known and loved unconditionally. Now, some of Cassidy and Peter's closest friends will share readings that they selected to express how they feel about each other. Hannah?
This is Shakespeare's 29th sonnet. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I alone, all alone, beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and scorn my fate, wishing me like one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, happily I think on thee. And then my state, like to the lark at break of days, sing free of heaven's earth, arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Alex?
Okay. This is from Rebecca Sugar, creator of Steven Universe, talking about these characters who have been together for a long time. I really wanted to talk about a couple that had been together for a really long time before getting married, making that choice together, a really informed choice based on their history and how they feel about each other, and then getting married. I love them as characters, as a couple, because communication is so important to them. They've been together for such a long time. It doesn't mean that everything's perfect for them. They still struggle, but you know they're going to talk about it. You know they're going to work it out, and they've made a decision to stay together. They work on it. They put work into it, and that's what their union is. It's strong because they know each other.
Thank you for giving me the shortest reading. This is from Rainer Mariah Rilke's Pathways. Understand, I'll slip quietly, away from the noisy crowd, when I see the pale stars rising, glooming over the oaks. I'll pursue solitary pathways through the pale twilight meadows, with only this one dream: you come too.
Today we should try to remember that a wedding is a symbol, heartfelt, joyous, meaningful, but not magic. It will not create a relationship that does not already exist and has not already been celebrated in all the commitments, large and small, that Peter and Cassidy have made to each other time and time again since they first met. What we are celebrating today is not the beginning of a marriage, but a marriage already in progress. This ceremony is a symbol of how far they have come together and a symbol of the promises that they will continue to make to each other throughout their lives together. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things we promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all. Every word. Never forget this moment. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Classmates, friends, fiancés. But now you shall say a few words that you take across a threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. After these vows, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, and this is my wife. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way. That's impossible. In love, as in life, the only stability is in change, in growth, and in freedom. Therefore, what you promise today must be renewed and reaffirmed tomorrow and all the tomorrows to come. Considering all of these things, Peter, do you promise to do your very best each day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage?
I do.
Cassidy, do you promise to do your very best each day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage? Now, please declare your vows to each other. We have this one here.
All right. This is the part I'm nervous for.
You got this.
In early August 2010, a few months into our relationship, when I was sitting on a plane waiting to go back to Illinois from New Jersey, I wrote these words in my journal. I was 20. Every minute I spend with Peter makes me feel more like he's the man I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. Perhaps I'll be reading this sometime in the future and laughing at myself, but right now it seems plausible. The truth is, being with Peter feels right. We can be silent or buried in an intense conversation, but I'm always comfortable. I've rarely felt good enough, and Peter doesn't make me feel like the perfect woman or a graceful flower of beauty. He just makes me feel like myself. But with him, that's the most wonderful and acceptable thing. So, now that I'm 31, I'm glad to say that I'm not reading that and laughing at myself. I read that now and I feel amazed by how true the words still feel. Even since the first time we bonded over a spontaneous late-night Facebook chat about a shared love of clue finders, I've felt a particular connection with you that's hard to put into words. I love your sweet, tender heart and the unabashed way that you share your feelings. I love your unique mind that remembers the smallest details and sees connections that I would never notice. I love how you understand me, listen to me, and support me like no one else can. I love the little things like how you bring me homemade meals while I'm in my online class, and how you'll order extra pizza sauce for me, even though I know you don't really want it. I love that I can make you laugh. And I love that you make me laugh every single day. We can be driving down winding roads in a national park, playing mystery games, annoying each other with our worst jokes, watching TV, texting each other from separate rooms in the house, or even arguing about the proper way to do things in the kitchen, and it's bliss. Every minute that I get with you is precious to me. I promise that as your wife, I will always do my best to tell you the truth, at least as far as I understand it myself. I promise to take care of you. I promise to listen to you. I promise to appreciate everything that you do for me. I promise to trust you, respect you, and take your feelings seriously. When we disagree, we'll continue to have the necessary and hard conversations that have kept our relationship strong so far. Finally, I promise to love and respect myself, because that is the best way I can honor the incredible gift of love that you've given to me. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life getting the best hugs in the world and waking up next to my favorite person every day. I love you.
Is this thing on? Cassidy, it's been a long walk to make it all the way here under this oak tree. Very little in my life today predates you now, with the notable exception of the admittedly too small but very lucky t-shirt that I wore on our first date. That is one thing that I don't fit into anymore, but it will always spark joy, and so it will stay. We decided to do this serendipitously and simultaneously on a beautiful afternoon 2 years ago, not because it's obvious, even though it is, or because it's easy, even though it often is, but because we're ready to honor all the time and the energy we've spent loving each other so far, and to commit to carrying that energy through the rest of our lives. That opportunity is luckier than any piece of clothing I know of. I know that you cherish the peer evaluation that I wrote to you in our first college class. It was a 9 out of 10. I'm a tough critic. But there's another memory from before you fatefully slid into my DMs that I've been thinking about a lot lately. There was a concert in the underground coffee house, the Someone Still Loves You Boris Yeltsin concert. We both knew that each other was there. We were acutely aware. And we stood next to each other, and we said absolutely nothing. And we didn't acknowledge each other, and we just laser focused on this band. I barely remember anything about that concert, but I will never forget experiencing for the first time the feeling of standing in front of something aside you and wishing that I knew what you were thinking about. That's something that we've done enough times together now that I take it for granted. But it's so beautiful to get to see the world and its wonders with you and to not have to wish anymore. I will never stop admiring your perspective. You see the beating human heart at the core of everything in a way that I just can't sometimes, and it's beautiful. You want to make the world a better place in the simplest and most personal ways, and I admire that. You have a patience that I envy desperately, and a calm center that has helped me from spinning away, even at my worst. You laugh at your own jokes, and you laugh at mine. You are speechless in front of natural beauty, and are completely disarmed when you see a cat on the street, to say nothing of the ones that live in our house. You appreciate so much that I might never have noticed without you pointing it out to me. And I've learned and grown, and you've learned and grown, and love yourself, and inspired me so often to do the same. I'm just so grateful to have you in my life, and I'm beyond indebted to you for every effort you've given to make it better. Promises are something I know you take very seriously, and with that in mind, I'll say this. I promise, as your husband, to stand resolutely alongside you and behind you wherever your heart tells you that you need to be. I promise to be ready for you when you need me, for a hug or a class night dinner or emergency spider removal. I promise to confide in you, communicate with you, listen the absolute best that I can, and honor the conversation that is our love. And though I can't promise that it will always come, I promise to order the side of red sauce. We can't change how we like our pizza, but I promise I never want to change the way I love you. Please take hands. Please take a good look at your partner's hands so you may see the gift that they are to you. These are the hands of your best friend. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as you together build your future. These are the hands that, when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours. Holding the pad with the rings. This is the fingers. Peter, please paste this ring on Cassidy's finger and replace after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love. As I place it on your finger, I commit my heart and soul to you. I ask you to wear this ring as a reminder of the vows we have spoken today. Wear it and think of me and know that I love you. Cassidy, please place this ring on Peter's finger and repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love. As I place it on your finger, I commit my heart and soul to you. I ask you to wear this ring as a reminder of the vows we have spoken today. Wear it and think of me and know that I love you. I could hardly hold it together after each of you mentioned the side of red sauce. I've been trying to think of something clever and heartfelt to say in summation, but any of the words I came up with paled in comparison to what you said to each other. I love how much you two love each other in constantly growing and changing ways. I love how much everyone here loves you, as evidenced in the past couple of days. I've seen it from the start. Thank you to everyone for the love that you show to them. My hope for you both and for everyone here is be safe, be bold, love one another, encourage one another, see hope and joy in this wedding and in these two amazing friends. It is now my honor and delight to declare you married. Now kiss each other.